Sleepy.
Oh, they did not show up 2 nights in a row. There's no way. And we didn't show up 2 nights in a row. We showed up, of course, that first night. But we wanted to talk about
We
what,
went.
what does it take to heal the world? I mean, what kind of coach
Loaded
should you look
question.
for if you know that you are looking to find somebody to help you, whether it be a healer, whether it be a coach, whether it be somebody who can help you find your answers. When you came up with what you needed to come up with for this certification program, when we looked at what we went through, when you looked at what we were doing in Ruth Camp, what was your inspiration for creating such a program?
For the coaching cert.
Yes.
Um,
Hey, y'all.
it was easy because what happened with us was when we began coaching,
Mm-hmm.
we were getting a lot of questions. Are you guys certified? Do you get blah, 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 blah. Do
I
you
think they got. Are we real?
yeah? Do you have a certification? Do you know what you're doing?
Hello.
Stuff like that. So I thought, well, we're gonna have to do this. So we did, and we went through 3 certification programs, and we learned nothing except for how to make a schedule, how to be on time,
How to
how to
market.
be good leaders.
How to sell to people.
Anyway,
Well, there was a lot of sales.
there was a lot of
tech-
stuff. Yeah.
There was a lot of sales techniques.
Anyway,
but what do you think
that
they?
what I didn't learn was I don't
Hi.
think what was taught to us in those certification programs was human emotion, pain. How to identify pain in me so I can identify it in my client. How to identify abandonment in me so I can identify abandonment in someone else. What is the root of my anger? What is the root of my fear? What is the
How do
root of my pain?
But let's make sure that we clarify that, because I think there's this unknown space there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were trained to be a coach,
Mm-hmm.
but it really wasn't necessarily about the emotions. It was steer clear of these emotions and help somebody keep focusing on what's going to improve them,
Right.
what's going to help them achieve their success, what's going to help them achieve the results that they were looking for. What did they say when I remember this. I'll never forget this moment when you said, but what if you have somebody who you know is meant to do something and they're in their own way? How do you go into the pain to help them see that? And I remember they said, well, don't try to let them go into their pain. And you looked at me and said, what do they mean?
Right.
And I didn't really think about it, but now I look back at it, I went, that was the most powerful question I think anybody could ever ask. Because when somebody is in a lot of pain, when somebody is going through a whole lot of different things, the last thing they want is somebody to try to encourage them. They want them to kind of validate and say, yeah, you don't deserve to be going through all of this.
Right.
And it almost was like, the one thing I think that we realized coming out of it, and the one thing I think that when you said, we need to do this, it was that pain is probably the greatest spiritual teacher we have. And we're directing people on how to cope with it, not how to go into it and how to birth from it.
Right.
And I said, man, you're right. And then even when I looked deep, I went, wow, you're right. Because that's how we got here. That's how we came into this world. We had to go into the pain first. We had to go through the pain, even in pregnancy, even into the stages of labor. You're in pain, and then here comes this child. And it's when you go into the pain that when that child comes into your hands, all of a sudden the pain it was all worth it to go into it. So when we were learning our coaching techniques, when we were learning this is how you're going to do your coaching, and I was utilizing it for retail, I was utilizing it for different things, but then when I started looking at my own life and started really, I was really into Eckhart Tolle, I was really into Dan Millman, I was into those kinds of things, and I was like, okay, they're almost saying the exact same thing, but it was almost like they didn't really give me that edge to jump into it because I was afraid. And you said, no, we got to look at this and we need to break this down. And I think it first came out when you created the healing series.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the healing series is meant for something greater, because people who can go through the healing series will be able to actually help people through and help themselves through, because they'll have the right tools to understand what it is they have to go into that they're not going into.
Right.
First of all, thank you for creating such a beautiful program. Thank you for taking the time to really see it. For everybody who's actually been impacted by you creating Root Camp, let alone the certification. This is, I wanted to make sure that we put a video out there, or even done a live video where I said, you know what, when you said, when we come together, we're going to change everything. I don't think I understood the magnitude of what you meant, because you especially when you get thrown the word twin flame, you're my twin flame, and then I said, and after you start looking, you start reaching out to other twin flames, and they pretty much trash you, or they make you feel like, okay, that's not your twin. But let's not even go into that. But there's that space, and then you're like, yeah, but I feel that what you were telling me is the truth. And I get it. I know it's really hard for feminine energy to come to masculine energy and try to get them to understand what connection is, or get them even understand that it has a greater purpose or a greater reason for being. But I hadn't even given that to myself yet. So when we went through that, then we went through all the shit we went through. If you've watched our journey, you know what I'm talking about. There was that space where I didn't know that I had this greater ability within me. I knew that I was able to. I had the typical speech. I'm spiritual. I'm not religious. I didn't even know what that meant. Yeah, there were really great parts where I really wasn't awake. And then, when you said, okay, I need you to sit with me and we need to go over what this looks like, what we need to go into. And I'll never forget this, because she sat down and she said, you need to have this whole area of space here where you're going to go into, you need to go into pain. You need to go into abandonment. You need to go into rejection. You need to go into judgment. But judgment, you said, we really have to save a whole lot of space for judgment, because judgment is so huge and it's so wide ranged. People don't understand the word judgment itself. And I remember asking you, I said, Sherry, you want me to have the first part where I just immerse people into their pain? And you said, Lee, how do you think we got here? We weren't running from our pain, we went into it. And I said, yeah, but everybody's been taught for so long to run from their pain, to tell you, oh, my favorite, the person who's I'm connected to is going to come into my life and take away my pain, right? But literally what we found out is the person immerses you into your pain for you to be reborn. But you don't know how to rebirth, because you feel like something's missing. You feel like the other person has to be there along the path of learning how to love yourself, to love them. But we escaped that part. So when you said take them into their pain, I was like, sure, I think we're going to lose a lot of people. And what's interesting is that's not what's happened. What's happened is we really started to help them understand that there's pain, then there's suffering, and there's hurt. And suffering and hurt have nothing to do with pain. They're not even a part of the same family. Hurt and suffering come from the ego family. But pain itself comes from the birth family. It comes from nature. It comes from this part of existence. And when we're teaching this, or when we're coaching this, and we're showing the coaches, this is what this looks like. This is what it looks like, and nature intended it for it to be this way. We're like watching these people go, holy shit. The truth. The damn truth is. And then they start looking at what's hurt and suffering, and they start going, oh my God, wow, the truth. Pain is a part of the process of love. It's what birthed us into this world. It's what somebody actually went through. If you've ever had a child and you went through pain, and all of a sudden you looked at the baby, what happened to the pain? What makes you think not going into your pain's not going to give you that? So you said we're going to really have to deep dive somebody into it. And we kept watching, and I was like, I think some of these people are going to snap or they're going to run away. And a lot of them did run away right off the bat
Right.
because they didn't get it. But they slowly got it. And I understood that it does take its own process. It does take its own path. And a lot of the coaches that have gone through this and gone deep into it have come back and went, I'm not going to be the same. And they can't be the same because their love is different. Because they birthed into what was actually their birthright.
With a
So,
question.
when we're asking, are you ready to heal the world in truth? You got to know the truth about your own pain. We've had a lot of people question, they were like, hey, I'm ready to be a coach. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to just jump in and do it. And we're like, okay, well, we get it, but we're not putting you through this for free. This is something you're going to have to jump into, and you're going to have to swallow everything that's going to be said to you. And it's not our benefit to swallow it. It's yours, because you're going to have to take the same medicine you got to give to somebody else. Otherwise, you won't know where the cure is. And I love it when you said that. I have a wonderful twin. I don't know if you all know this. I mean, she walks around. I mean, she may look like Mrs. Claus. Some people say Roseanne. I don't get it. But then there's, the other aspect of it where she's my twin. I see nothing but beautiful, amazing woman in this woman right here. But sometimes she's too smart for her own good.
We have a question. Maybe you would like to answer.
Okay.
When one twin meditates and opens their heart to love, can the other twin feel it subconsciously?
Here's what the person, and this can probably be more of a question that you can answer and help them understand. Does this come from feminine or masculine energy?
Looks like from feminine energy.
Okay, so when you would clear your mind and connect to me, and if I was in my head a lot, could you feel the energy of rejection? Could you feel the energy of confusion? Could you feel the energy of he's not awake? What could you feel?
No, I felt, it depended. There were times when I felt confusion from you.
Mm-hmm.
There were also times when I felt you open up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait a minute, there's something to this.
Yes.
Yeah, those were legit. I felt those.
Those were in the times that you felt that, do you know what I could tell you what I was probably going through. I was going through, why am I here?
Right.
And then it was like, there was just like this dead silence or this dead space, and I didn't have any answers. So if my mind started to speak up, it made confusion. If my mind didn't, I would just feel my heartbeat, and then I would feel you. It was almost like I would see you instantly. It was almost like it was almost like the energy was being sent to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How can you know for sure that your spirit is telling a person is twin or not? And I'm gonna use this analogy like I always do, and you've probably heard it before, but I'm gonna say it again. Your head, your mind will lie to you. Your mind will give you many scenarios and will try to manipulate you into the quickest, fastest way. Easy peasy comes from the mind, right?
Yeah.
We want to get rich quick. We want to have love. We want to be married. We want to have a white picket fence. We want to drive a Lexus. We want to do all these things. And the mind will get a lot of us in trouble. The mind got a lot of people in prison.
Mm-hmm.
If you rob this bank, your troubles will be over.
Right.
You got to be careful listening to your mind. Your heart will also lie to you.
What will your heart lie to you about?
Well, just about anything. The heart holds where you hold your compassion. The heart will tell you not to rob a bank, or your heart would tell you it'll be okay if you're not going to get in trouble. If you're not going to get caught. You think of all the people you can help. The mind or the heart comes from compassion. You can help so and so. You can help so and so. You can donate to all these shelters. You can help this person not be evicted. You can help that person with groceries. It's okay to rob Peter to pay Paul. It's okay to take a shortcut. It's okay to, out of compassion, to do things that you shouldn't do. Your heart will lie to you from compassion. Don't tell this person the truth because you'll hurt them. That's your heart telling you to lie.
And when your heart's lying, what do you do? How do you know when your heart's lying, when it's not telling the truth?
Because it's your soul is where the truth is, right?
What does it do to your essence, I guess? What does it do to your essence?
Well,
energy?
then it puts you in confusion. Like, it still keeps you in limbo. Like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? It still keeps you in limbo. So now you've got your head and your heart communicating.
Right.
And they're both manipulative at times, right? It's your soul, it's your gut, it's your intuition, it's that feeling that you have. Nope, all these people I could help, it's still not right. The consequences I'm not willing to take, right? I would love to be able to help so and so pay their electric bill or pay their pay their mortgage or whatever, but I'm not able to do that at this point, and I'm not going to take those chances. I'm not going to jeopardize myself. It's wrong. My gut and my soul is telling me I'm wrong. When I met you, right? Met for the first time, you know, there was lots of stuff going on. My mind was telling me, I mean, it was just overwhelmed with just a your physical features.
Right.
I was just so attracted to you at that point. You know what I mean? I was ready to get married and have kids. You know, right? And my heart is going, okay, oh, darkness there, you can help him. You can save him. Right? You know, and my gut's going, there's something shady. This isn't right. But there's something about this. It feels home.
Yeah.
But there's something not right. Right? My gut was telling me there was something there, but it wasn't right at the same time. Right? So then as time progressed, I understood what my gut was telling me. Right? Not that you weren't right, that I wasn't right.
Right.
As well. When I knew that there was a connection, I felt that it was my gut, it was my intuition, it was my soul that was telling me that. That's how I knew that it was real. That's how I knew. That's how you know if you see $100 and it's laying in a grocery store, and you pick it up and put it in your pocket, and you're watching over your shoulder the whole time going out of the store, and you see the little girl who lost it, and that was her Christmas money, and you walk past her. That's your conscience. That's your intuition saying what you did was wrong, right? Or there's that, it's so strong that you see that little girl and you hand her money, and you walk out with a clean soul, instead of a dirty soul.
So you're saying that thought can actually produce a way for you to have a dirty, or have a cloudy, or have a storm. That your essence doesn't really, your essence will go through and love you through it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to feel right.
And it doesn't make you a horrible, bad person, because your essence doesn't change. You're, you know what I mean? Being a good person is, there was a bunch of little things inside of me, honestly, that that I would feel. You know, back in the day when we had fireplaces that took wood, and they sell that wood outside the grocery store for, I don't know what, $2.50 a bundle or some shit. You know what I mean? And you pay for 2 and you take 5 or 10 or 15.
Right.
Right? you know, there's that little trick. You put the receipt in your mouth while you're stacking the wood, so any worker would see that you've paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go to the nursery, the green, to buy 1 or 2 trees, and you see all these flowers for sale, and you buy 2, and they're out by the curb, and you take 10 or 12, right? Or you find the $100 bill, and you see the little girl, and she lost it, and she's so upset. Then you walk on past her, right? The little tiny things like that is what blocks you, what weighs you down.
Yeah.
It really is. It weighs you down where you sometimes can't even sleep at night. Like, now I've got this $100. I'm gonna, you know, pay a bill with it, but it's still there. It's still with you.
May I ask you a question that kind of pertains to this, because somebody said something and it kind of points back to what you said. There's a child in the room that says, I did not feel like I was good enough for someone.
Right.
So if you're the same aspect, you're the child, you're the adult walking past the child saying you're not good enough.
Right.
That's you rejecting the child. In which case, there's a passive space on the inside that over a period of time you'll carry a sense of guilt of never being good enough because you say that to a child. Why would you do that? I mean, that's how deep we're talking, right?
Right.
And you know, you're sleepy. Are you
Tired.
Did you not get enough sleep last night?
I'm having crazy dream journeys.
We're both having crazy dream journeys, but you know what? We're here. You said, hey, you know what? We need to go on because I feel that there's a person out there who's looking for us, and we need to say, you know, we need to really talk about, am I ready to heal the world in truth? If you're ready for the truth, do you know people change based on the truth? They don't change on lies. Did you know that? Do you believe that?
Yeah.
For those of you that are watching this, if you really believe that somebody telling you what they can predict about your future is going to be the truth, do you know that you have to lie to yourself to convince yourself that? Because the truth, the future is not something that's actually ever revealed to you in the now. It's revealed to you in the now when it's that time. It's never going to be something somebody else can dictate unless they can prey on your conscience enough or prey on your thought processes enough, and they get to be right. And see, you're looking for that validation.
Right.
It's almost like saying, hey, I need you to validate that I'm not good enough.
Right.
I'll stay stuck in being treated this way over and over and over again. And it's their fault. Yeah, they shouldn't treat you that way. And you're saying on the inside, yeah, I stayed way long enough that I wasn't getting treated. So I'm not good enough because I put up with the bullshit. That's you doing that.
We get a lot of that in the 30-minute complimentary sessions that we do. Especially when somebody's inquiring about the coaching certification program, the most often thing we hear is, how do I help heal people when I'm a mess? How do I help people with their marriages when I'm not even married?
You know what's interesting is people that have found us, they come on to and they watch our journey and they watch the shit we went through and they watch all of the other stuff that's happened thereafter, and then they go, I know you. I get it. I heard your story. I had to pay attention to your story. I wasn't able to ask questions about your story. And the thing is we wanted to teach people listening before we could teach them that part of the listening is how you heal.
Right.
And you need somebody to do that for you. And that's kind of what we do in our coaching program. That's kind of what we do in root camp. That's kind of what our coaches have been trained to do, is to listen to you to a deeper level, to understand what you do to you first, not what other people do to you. Because if you can't see that, you can't see why you're telling yourself you're not good enough. If you don't know the reasons or the justification, you just need to end this video because this makes no sense.
We've been up very early. We got up.
Are you ready to heal the world? No, Sherry's yawning. She's yawning the whole video. She doesn't even want to heal the world. She's too tired.
Oh gosh, we've been up since 7:30.
Yeah.
And some people get up at 5, so I'm not complaining.
Do you feel that the way people are treated is the way that do you think that when somebody gets treated a certain way, do you believe that the reason they're being treated that way is to validate the way that we've always been treated? They've told themselves a story about how they've always had to go through certain shit. And then they start showing up a certain way so the other person treats them that way, and then they can point to them and say that they're the cause. They didn't start out that way. The beginning, there was no judgment, there was no treatment. It just felt free and felt amazing. Then all of a sudden, it's almost like they tripped and fell and all of a sudden hurt themselves.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they're pointing at them saying, well, they treat me this way now. Well, when you started telling yourself that, okay, maybe this isn't real, or, maybe they really aren't treating me this way, they needed to be right. Right and wrong, the true evils of the planet. Wonder one day we may wake up and go, you know what, I want to know what makes me open and closed, not right or wrong.
Right.
Is that you? And are you ready to really learn that? Maybe. We'll see.
Hey, look, we are here, and we are doing one more, and we said this last time, but it's gotta end sometime, and this is the beginning of the year, so we are doing one more live coaching cert.
Well,
What that means is we instruct the coaching certification program just like this, on video, live. So we have class at a certain time. We work around everybody's schedule. It's worldwide. We work with all time zones. We try to find a neutral time for everybody, and we have class just like this, or it's over a program called Zoom. So before we decided to take on this last class, we've already begun digitizing it, which means we're recording the classes. So if you decide you want to be a coach next month or in the next 6 months, that's awesome. However, you're going to be getting videos. You're not going to be able to interact with us live and like everybody else has up to this point. So we are actively taking people who are ready to start, who are ready to begin their healing, so they can know how to help others heal. So we are doing one more live one. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say we're going to attempt to start it later next week, depending on if we get paperwork back in time or whatever. But we're gonna do that, and registration's easy. You can find out more information and pricing and things on the program through relationshipreinvented.com. You can go to the certification website from there, and it's got pricing information and everything. So we're gonna do that. By the way, if you were thinking about root camp is included. Your personal root camp is included, which means we put you through root camp so you understand how to put others through it, and we get to the root of your issues and help you go into healing so you can help others go into healing. I just wanted to throw that out there.
in demand instead of on demand. Both are kind of the two places that I think we're going to be. The in demand is where it's at. The on demand will be something that's actually going to be module-esque, but at the same time you'll get one interaction versus multiple interactions.
Right.
With us real time to help you with your coaching ability, helping you with understanding some different, deeper things within you. And it's something that I think that as we look at where we need to go and what we need to do, see, the choice is this. If Sherry and I's union and Sherry and I's connection is here, to go into the root of what's going to spread love throughout. We can't do it with just, even with the number we have.
Yeah.
We know that this is a bigger, broader dream. And dream has, this dream is so big, there's a lot of fear involved, but we're ready to just say the hell with fear because fear is a liar. And we've been talking about the truth. So we've had to overcome some things, I believe, in the background that said, you know what? We need to make sure that the world goes through root camp, not just select people, not just people. It's got to be something that everybody needs to be a part of. So we're going to do that. And I get it. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of different directions to go. But what we're going to do is make sure that this isn't about authenticity. This is about the fucking truth. Ooh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drop the F-bomb.
And
sometimes the truth just doesn't have all of the other judgments or taglines attached to it. I think because we had to really endure some really heavy bullshit, and then we had to tell the truth about it, and look at the other person and say they couldn't possibly love me now, because and here we've proven to you guys, yeah, we're still here loving each other through all of the bullshit and all of the lack of truth. But I think what's brought us stronger together and what we know this world needs is that very thing, because if love has to evolve, it's got to evolve in the truth. I don't think there's anything deeper you can say about it. There's no worth wrapped in it. There's no deserve wrapped into it. There's no other thing that needs to be wrapped into it. So hopefully, if this is something that you were meant to do, come help us heal the world.
I also want to throw in there that you don't have to be a twin flame coach. That's a common misconception. And we work with coaches all over the world. Another common misconception, I'm in the UK. What do I do? Or I'm in Australia. What do I do? Same thing everybody else does. We have plenty.
I've gone through too much addiction. I've gone through too much abuse. I'm not even supposed to be a twin flame. I'm not supposed to be the... Look, let me tell you something. If you can put yourself into the love that healing can give you, and you can find a path within you, you can help somebody find it in themselves. And you don't have to do a mass. You just got to do them one at a time. We're not ready to jump out there and be in front of everybody, because we know that it's going to take a lot to sew the fabric of this love that we know has to be here. We get it. We're not rushing it. We're not pushing it. We're taking our time with it. We love you guys.
So I still think I just need to
reiterate
this. Is that whatever it is you think is your specialty, whatever you think you can heal people with the most, that's all part of the life coaching module. And we have coaches that help people with autistic children. We have coaches that deal with sexual abuse victims and survivors. We have coaches that deal with domestic abuse. We have coaches that are marital coaches, premarital coaches. We have dietary coaches. We have fitness coaches. We have so many different aspects. There's so many different genres. It really is what it is, and spiritual coaches and twin flame coaches. So it's a wide, it's very wide. So I don't want that common misconception out there that it's just a twin flame coaching program, and it's not. So
we show you what you're connected to.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go get a shower so I can lay down.
Did your husband have moments of anguish thinking about Sherry?
Your husband? You had a husband?
I didn't have no... Man, I had a harem of women. I don't know about no damn husband. Did your husband have a... I don't know. Somebody said something. That didn't make any sense. What kind of question is that? Right.
Oh, yeah, we did see 11:11 a lot. We still do.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Today I saw 11:22. I saw 11:11. You know what? I saw 1:11. I saw 9:11.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite is?
I just saw 11:11 when we were on here.
4:11.
4:11.
4:11 has been showing up because that's an information number. Every time I see 4:11, I'm like, I know. We're trying to get them the information, but they're confused because they get so much other conflicting information.
You're tired too. Don't lie.
I'm. You know what? I'm not really tired. I'm ready.
We work too hard.
You know what I mean?
But I love it.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing this. I think we started at 8:30 this morning, so yeah, it's 11:30 at night. Yeah. I think we have a right for you to be yawning.
I'm gonna go get a shower and chill out and go to bed.
Yeah. You know what,
Start
guys?
again at
we
8.
love you. We love you too. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for taking the time to sit with us today. And if this spoke to you, this video will be up for a while. There's another video coming up behind this that may make you choke on a few things, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We did what we did on purpose. You're going to actually get to see us. If you ever wanted to see a video of Lee and Sherry in conflict in the beginning, there's a video coming for you. We love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.